Christina.
And Carla.
With HoplightSocial.com. We're back again to show you another cool recipe where you can cook with
beer.
Awesome.
So you gotta have beer when you cook, right?
Right, and before even you start cooking, you should definitely be drinking the beer. So we actually are going to be opening up a Karl Strauss Peanut Butter Cup Porter. It's one of our favorite seasonal beers that they do.
Because today we're making homemade Oreos made with their peanut butter cup porter as a peanut butter cream filling. So we're really excited about that. But first we're gonna try this beer.
Yeah. And not spill the beer. As you probably saw if you watched our first YouTube video.
We all know bloopers are the best part. Cheers,
Christina. Cheers to you guys.
Oh, that is so good.
Oh, all right.
It's almost like dessert in a glass, but
I feel prepared.
Alrighty. So let's start. We're gonna make our chocolate batter for the Oreo cookie part. So we're gonna start with our butter. And we've melted that. It's about 1 cup of butter. And then we're gonna add our sugar. So we have 3/4 of sugar, cup of sugar, measured out here. And we have our whisk. Christina, you can start whisking that up for me.
Oh yeah.
All right, next we have our 1 teaspoon of vanilla, which I will add in there. And of course our chocolate chips. So the secret behind these homemade Oreos is the melted chocolate. So we melted down 1 cup of chocolate chips, which we're now gonna add to our batter.
It's getting nice and chocolatey.
It smells so good. Can I scrape this off here?
Yeah.
Awesome.
There we go.
It'll get messy soon, just wait. All right, and then once that's, you can see there, it's getting combined really nicely. You're gonna add in your 1 egg. So we're gonna put that in there, keep stirring. Alrighty. And now that we've got all these out of the way, these here. All right, so we're gonna get started with our dry ingredients. As Christina keeps mixing that up, we're gonna add, we have 1.5 cups of our all-purpose flour. And in here, we have 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. You want it Dutch processed, that's really important. So we're gonna add those dry ingredients together. Just give them a stir until it gets nice, oops. Tends to go everywhere when you don't have any liquid. So we've got our dry ingredients here. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. So it's a coarse salt, so you don't want it too salty, but it adds like a little bit, a little pop of salt here and there to kind of cut through the sugar. All right, so we got that all combined, and then we have a 1/2 teaspoon of our baking soda. So put that in there also. All right, once you have that combined, then we're gonna get rid of the whisk.
Do we go dry to wet or wet to dry?
We're actually going to dry to wet.
All right, there you go.
All right.
We all know it matters.
Perfect. So
Great
let's you're gonna pull your whisk out of there. So goodbye whisk.
Bye, whisk.
And, oh my God, that's good. And you're gonna add in your dry ingredients. And you can add them a little bit at a time, but I find it works if you just add it all at once. And you're gonna start folding that in. So Christina, if you wanna keep folding that in, mix it together. So we got all these ingredients at our local neighborhood market. They're called Barron's, and they just have the most quality ingredients. So we found that we can get everything there. They have an awesome selection of craft beers. So you can get this and other beers like it over there as well. How's that going, Christina? It takes a little bit of muscle, doesn't it?
Some hard work over here, but
Awesome.
you know, gotta make that dough. So
well, I'll keep doing that. So once you get this into a nice ball, you're just gonna mix that, and once it's completely combined, you actually let it sit on the countertop for about an hour because you want it to firm up. So that's looking really good. All right, so we let that sit for about an hour, and afterwards, Christina, I'll have you put that in the fridge because you roll it into a log after an hour, and then with a little bit of TV magic, after about 2 hours of keeping it in the refrigerator, you can wrap it in saran wrap, keep it there for a week. So we have our beautiful log out here. I'm gonna unwrap this. And the log originally is about 15 inches by 2 1/4 inches. because you want it to be not too big for your cookies. So we're gonna cut this up. Let me bring this over. Yeah, perfect. So you're gonna cut this up into 1/4 inch slices. And you want them to be fairly consistent because it's gonna be a sandwich cookie in the end, as you know.
Awesome. While she's cutting that, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about why we chose this particular beer. Peanut Butter Cup Porter is definitely something that we look forward to every year. We are actually in the middle of San Diego Beer Week. Actually, today was the last day, sad day. But this beer was originally brewed for that, and Karl Strauss is definitely, they just recently won Mid-Size Brewing Company of the Year at Great American Beer Festival, which we got to see, which was really awesome. So definitely one of our favorite local spots. And it looks like we got some cookies that we can put on the sheet now.
All right, so it's pretty firm, so and I had to put some muscle into it. So we're gonna just put half of our cookies out for the sake of showing you all and not boring you. So we have half our cookies there. We're gonna put them on into the oven. The oven temperature is gonna be 325, and you wanna cook them for about 16 minutes. After 16 minutes, keep checking them. You're gonna wanna poke them gently, and just when they get firm and aren't too soft, you're gonna wanna pull them out, because they actually will firm up a little bit after you take them out. And another important thing is obviously you don't wanna fill them when they're hot. So with a little TV magic, again, we have our cookies here, and we wanna let them cool, obviously, so we can put our filling inside. So next we're gonna move to our peanut butter cup porter filling, you guys. So we have some butter that I whisked up here. We've used a blender or mixer for about 30 seconds or so until it gets nice and white and fluffy. But for the sake of TV,
we thought about boring you all with the loud mixer, but we decided we would be nice today.
Yeah, so we have a half a cup of butter there and about 1 2/3 cup of confectioner sugar. So we're gonna add that in there. And that's what makes it nice and thick. And I'm gonna use my hands. You can use your hands or a blender, it'll come out exactly the same. So just to show you that, Christina can tell us about the beer that's been cooking on the stove.
Yeah, so we actually have been reducing the peanut butter cup porter that we've been talking about. And one thing we will say, we learned this the hard way, if you are ever reducing liquid or beer on the stove, make sure you keep an eye on it, unlike what we're doing in this video, because it will tend to overflow if you're not watching it. So just make sure you'll want to start it up on high for about 2 minutes, 1 minute.
Yeah, you want to make sure it boils.
Yeah,
and then
until it boils.
As soon as it starts foaming up, as we know, you just start turning it down to low.
Real low.
And keep a real close eye on it because it will bubble over on you really quickly. So we added about a half cup of the peanut butter cup porter to start out with, and you want it to reduce down by about half. So when it's about a 4th cup or so, you have this nice reduced kind of syrupy.
It's hard to see, but
it smells so good though.
It smells so good.
It's like peanut butter and
I'm just like,
oh,
yes,
so good.
So good.
So we're gonna add about 4 tablespoons of our beer.
Which I can do that.
Yep, my hands are kind of messy. So
Alright,
go ahead
yes.
and keep adding the beer. Perfect. So let's add 2 and then keep mixing it up. Because depending on the consistency of your batter, you can add more or less.
And also to taste.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you want to grab that peanut
butter? Yes, I do.
So the other, obviously, secret ingredient, the peanut butter. We're going to add about a 1/3 cup of that just to add some more peanut butter intense flavor. Because who doesn't love peanut butter? And it helps it thicken up a bit too. I also added about a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, just to enhance the flavors. That's looking so good. Okay, and just
more beer.
Yeah, we're gonna need probably half tablespoon.
Half a tablespoon.
Yep.
Just to top it
Perfect.
off.
Yeah, because it's actually looking a good consistency. You obviously don't want it too watery. You don't want it dry either, so if it's looking a little crumbly, you can add a little bit more beer. I'll leave that up to you guys for your best judgment, however you like your filling. So, as you can see, filling looks perfect. So we can start grabbing our cookies.
All right, let's make some room here too.
Yeah.
Gotta make some room.
The first time I had homemade Oreos, I was blown away. There's actually, my hometown in Boston, there's a place called Flour Bakery, and this recipe is actually theirs. And we added the peanut butter beer to it because we were inspired. All right, so let's get going with our mix.
Yes.
We're gonna add, typically you wanna let this cool just a little bit so it's not as runny as this is right now. But for the sake, oh, that looks so good. Okay.
Oh, it looks so good. But wait, what about the bacon?
Oh yeah, we can't forget about it.
We can't forget about the bacon.
That really is one of the best parts. So we decided to do this last minute because who doesn't love bacon? So we chopped some up, and we found that sprinkling it inside was actually one of the best parts. We were thinking about rolling the edge in it, but you can do it either way. We thought inside worked really well.
Look at that. Make some more cookies.
It's nice crunchy bacon, and then your peanut butter beer filling.
Oh, yes.
Got that?
There we go.
And you want to fill the under parts, so the parts that are sitting on the baking tray, the bottoms, and you want to sandwich those together so you have basically two tops facing out. Makes sense, right?
It's so good. So good, in fact, that I'm sure we're going to have a secret visitor who comes just for cookies.
Wonder who it could
at
be.
the end. Wonder who it could be.
When I hear
Let's see.
Kelly's like, I
Oh,
need cookies.
Kelly.
Go ahead and grab one of those.
Yes.
I'm going to wash my, or maybe I'll grab a
All right.
spoon.
Hold on, we gotta
wash my
get-
hands so I can get some beer.
Gotta get her some beer to go with this cookie, too.
Amazing.
All right. Here's
Thank
that
you.
for you. Another thing too, if you are not peanut buttered out or peanut butter cup out by the end of pairing this, you can pair it with their Rec Alley Imperial Stout. It's just a little bit heavier beer with some coffee notes, so it definitely pairs really well. And we definitely recommend you can even dunk your cookie in it, because who doesn't like to dunk their Oreos in some sort of liquid? So I'm gonna pour just a little bit of that here.
I feel like a kid, you know, like making these Oreos and eating them too.
Well, I mean, that's the fun part,
It's like,
right?
yeah, it's everyone's childhood treat, and now it's
I'm
just
just being
like,
polite because I would have dove into this already.
Kelly's over here like,
Now it's
hurry
just
up, wrap it up, girls.
dive in.
Wrap it up.
At least for the cookie.
I
Wait for
need-
us for the beer.
I need some more. All right,
All right,
we
we
ready? I think we're good.
I got my beer.
I'll do the Imperial with this. All right, well, cheers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers to you.
Yep.
Thanks for
Dunking,
watching.
Oh, spillage. It happens.
Oh my god. You got that whole peanut butter
Go
mouth
good.
thing going on. I guess that's why you need the beer.
With the bacon.
So
Mm.
good.
All right, this is easier to dunk when it's non-circular.
So
for the record.
once you have those all prepared, you can add your bacon first. You can add it later. These Oreos actually do the typical Oreo thing, whereas if you let them firm up a little and then open them, the consistency of the inside is exactly like your cream filling of regular Oreos. So you can do that later. You can dunk them. You can keep them at room temperature for up to 4 days, 5 days. Share them with your friends. They won't last that long. So yeah. So that culminates the end of our Oreo cookie baking. We hope you guys enjoy, and we hope you make this recipe. We know you're gonna enjoy it, and your friends will love you. So
Yeah, be sure to tag us, because we
Amazing.
love seeing what
Definitely.
you guys are doing at home in the kitchen, especially when you're experimenting with beer. And be sure to follow our channel, because we'll definitely continue doing these once a month and making something different each time with different beer. So with that, cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Getting more bacon on this if anyone
Right.
wants to roll theirs in it.
This
It's
bacon
delicious.
adds like a savory to the sweet. It's so good.
It's like the perfect breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast of champions right here, guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still watching.
Probably one some.
Java, hey, you want a piece of bacon? There she
Oh,
is.
there's Java.
Hey, Java.
She's been waiting this entire video just for that. All right.
Good girl.
Billy, get on in here.
Yeah.
Come have an Oreo. I know you want one.
Billy's been working the camera.
And some bacon with your beer because, oh man, this is like the best thing ever.
I definitely need one of these.
Java.
You got it.
Bacon for the film crew. Woo.
Some ooey goodness.
Mm-hmm.
You can roll in the bacon. You can sprinkle it on
So
there.
good.
Mm.
It's not like overly sweet either, which is nice.
Mm.
It's like that perfect, like just lightly chocolatey peanut butter sweet with bacon and nuts. It's
I don't even care. It was so good.
Yeah, we didn't let this filling ferment, but usually it's how it was.
Actually, dunking in the imperial beer is really good. You want to try?
Yeah.
It's really good in the imperial beer.
Be good with the milk stout too.
It's good.
I'm gonna go put it in here.
It like soaks it up.
Yeah,
Without
it's
being-
so good.
Without like
Right?
destroying it. I rolled the edges of mine in the bacon.
Really good.
Mm.
All about that life.
That was one thing.
Yep.
I could eat another one of these easily.
Right?
I haven't even had
I
dinner
promised
yet.
Dennis one, so we got so at least save one for him. He's been complaining all weekend
Cheers.
long.
Cheers.
I can't get over
Where's
this
is
peanut
there
butter.
more here?
Yeah. We switched beers at one point, but that's cool.
I feel like we did that all the time.
It's all a community. That was delicious.
Peanut butter all the
I
time.
know, for dunking. Alright.
So good.
And
No, it's still lingering.
wrap.
And that.
And that's one of our YouTube videos.
Mhm.
Take one.
Done.
There's no
However it comes
one and
out.
done.
One